Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 6th of May and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM Ensembles. Very much around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS Weeklies at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That will go as well in the 2nd of May. And I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say, it's been a busy day at GavsWeatherVids so far today. So we start off with 6 AM UK weather forecast. We then released the USA forecast, and if that wasn't enough, we released GMA Wednesday, looking at the GMA season model for the next 3 months. So please check out those free vids if you'd like to do that. Like, share, and subscribe on videos, and thank you so very much everybody for doing that. I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday as well. I'm off to the gym in a bit. Gonna hang out with the beautiful young people. Look very old and inadequate. Right, anyway, I've got a 10 to 14 to do first, So, anyway, let's start off with the CT. Central temperature currently sitting at 8.4, which is half a degree above the 61 to 1990 average, and that is provisional to yesterday, to the 25th of April. These are GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Wrexham. Looking at Wrexham today, newly promoted to the Premier League, of course. So congratulations to everybody at Wrexham. What a story that is, isn't it? Right, okay, so well done to Wrexham. Okay, so we're starting off, of course, with temperatures below average at the moment. We're going to see those temperatures on the rise at the end of week and into bank holiday weekend, becoming warmer for a time, and then falling back a little bit through the earlier part of next week, then rising a bit later next week, so a little bit up and down, but not too far from, long-term averages, really, and that takes us then into the second week of May, through that period just there. Precipitation-wise, we're still dryish at the moment. We're going to have some quite heavy rain mode tomorrow. And then over the bank holiday weekend, actually, there will be further heavy showers, maybe longer spells of rain, possibly even a few thunderstorms mixed in. Then we go drier again through much of next week, but as we get to the Coronation weekend, it might start getting a little bit more, hold on, no, sorry, buddy, it might start getting a little bit more unsettled when we get to the Coronation weekend and beyond it into the second week of May. So still a little bit of question mark about both of the bank holidays, just how settled are they going to be. Temperature anomalies from the 26th of April to the 4th of May, below average in the north, a little bit above average in the south. It's not a particularly big deviation, but we are on a slightly milder side through England, Wales, and Ireland, a little bit cooler though up across Scotland. And precipitation anomalies from 26th of April to 4th of May, varying, but generally a bit wetter in the north, a little bit drier for parts of central, a little bit wetter again down in the south. Over the southeast is quite dry, so quite a bit of variation there in next week. I suppose that is probably down to heavy showers over the coming weekend. That might be a little bit hit and miss. Right, let's remember that from urbanoschool.net. Shows we're starting to try and change the wind direction. So those cold northerlies that we've had since the weekend, they're being shoved off now into the North Sea and over Scandinavia. We've got low pressure out of the Atlantic. These are the areas of low pressure going to bring the wet weather tomorrow. But as they come in, they're going to start pulling up warmer air from the south. It's going to be a slow old process to get that warmer air into the north, but we will see the temperature rising at the end of the week, courtesy of low pressure, so that's where rain comes in, but eventually we will see the temperature rising, and things should start getting warmer, especially for England and Wales by the weekend. Okay, let's go through chart data then. So this is how the latest UK Met Euro is looking for midnight on Saturday. Trying to build up a ridge of high pressure from the southwest, but struggling to get that ridge going. So the gradients are pretty slack, pretty flimsy as we go through the bank holiday weekend. Tell us there is going to be showery conditions. The ridge is not going to be strong enough to bring an entirely settled bank holiday weekend. That's how we end up with the UK Met, which gets us to the middle of next week, Wednesday the 3rd of May. By then, perhaps a bit of a stronger ridge starting to build, and that should bring mostly dry weather then, with the pressure going at around 1,025 to 1,030 millibars. It should be warmer as well with that. Excuse me once again. Icon once more shows that we have slack gradients even over the weekend, and a trough of low pushing into the north as we get through to Bank Holiday Monday. That could bring more persistent rain, perhaps for more northern areas. Goodness gracious me. Then beyond that, through next week, you have a ridge building through the country, all looking rather slack, but probably enough to bring mostly dry and warmer weather as well. Warmer air is easing up from the south, so I think next week is a drying and warming type pattern. Whether that holds on to the coronation remains to be seen. The GFS midnight run, again, with very slack gradients as we're going into the bank holiday weekend, so I think we can expect showers at the very least, if not some longer spells of rain through next week. High pressure builds much more strongly at around 1,035 millibars, so turning mostly dry and, particularly the south, quite warm through the middle part of next week. That high pressure sticking around as we approach the coronation weekend. That's Friday the 5th of May, with a nice ridge then across the country. It's just about holding on by its fingertips for the coronation itself on the 6th of May. But beyond that, low pressure then starts moving in from off the Atlantic. So through the coronation weekend, we start to turn more showery, cooler as well. Over the coronation weekend, we might just about get a dry coronation day, but after that, it looks like it goes downhill. And those showery conditions may stay with us right way through to the end of the GFS midnight run into the second week of May. The GFS 6M, the latest, looking like this again. Slack gradients on Saturday and into Sunday too. Plus a slightly stronger ridge starting to try and build by bank holiday Monday, but probably still showery. But Tuesday, a nice ridge then across the country, around 1,030 millibars, and that sticks around through to the middle of next week as well. That high pressure gradually weakening though, so by the time we get through to the coronation day, is 6th of May, day 10, low pressure is definitely threatening from the southwest. It's just about being held at bay. It's a very close one thing, but by 7th of May, that low pressure pushing through the country, suggesting that the weather goes downhill through the coronation weekend with spells of rain and cooler temperatures as well. And then we end up with quite a significant area of low pressure, bringing spring gales and whatnot set over Scotland. Look at that, strong winds, back to ice bars wrapped around that area of low, keeping things cool and unsettled right way up to the end of GFS 6, which today gets us to 12th of May. If you enjoyed the video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends and family about GavsWeatherVids. It is amazing. It's incredible. I mean, thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Okay, GM, again, looking rather showery into the bank holiday weekend, and cool as well, actually. The GM pulls in a northerly, northeasterly there for bank holiday Monday. That's not that's not great, is it? No, a little bit different to the other model output. The GM looks more showery and also cooler with those winds in from the north and from the northeast. And then beyond that, we just keep the grains rather slack, really, as we're approaching the coronation weekend, with low pressure definitely threatening from Biscay by coronation day itself, day 10. And then the ECM WF looking like this. So we have slack gradients over bank holiday weekend, pull the wind in from a northwesterly direction as well, so that could be rather cool and showery for the bank holiday weekend. Then high pressure repositions over the country through the middle next week, bringing mostly dry and settled weather. Stronger ridge holding into the bank holiday weekend as well, the coronation weekend. So out of all model output, excuse me, out of all model output, my voice is going. Out of all the model output, the ECM is the driest and warmest for coronation, with coronation day, with not much low pressure threatening up to that point. This is the Precipitation Forecast based on the ECM run from Meteo.com. Here comes all of tomorrow's rain. Going to be a little bit of a deluge across parts of England and Wales tomorrow, but it's introducing warmer air, remember. Now we go into the bank holiday weekend, looking rather showery, heavy showers, could be some longer spells of rain mixed in as well. By the time we get through to the next week, high pressure band is taking over, bringing much more in the way of drier weather and those dry conditions lasting to day 10, which is the 6th of May. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensembles today for day 10. Well, from the Icelandic Met Office gets us to the 6th of May. 15 members of the ECM Ensembles in high pressure to the north of Scotland. And around that, we bring in a wind from an east or southeast direction. It should be mainly dry. I've got some low pressure just to the southwest, threatening though. 14 have low pressure through the country, so obviously that's unsettled for the Coronation. 13 will include the control on the operational run, stronger with that ridge of high pressure from the UK all the way up to Greenland. Low pressure further away from us, so that's going to be quite dry and warm. And then 9 with high pressure over France, and low pressure is over Scandinavia. Showery and a little bit on the cool side, maybe, especially so for the north, should be mostly dry though, down the south. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 11th of May. 14 members of the ECM Ensembles with deep low pressure over and to the east of the country. That will bring in cool and showery northerly winds. Another 14 with low pressure to the north, bringing the winds from west. That's going to be very unsettled too. Another 14 with some high pressure in the North Atlantic, low pressure over France, winds coming in from a coolish easterly direction. And 9 with low pressure in from the Atlantic to our west, coming up against a Scandinavian high. But we're under the influence of the low. So actually all of the options in 2 weeks' time within the ECM Ensembles have us under low pressure. Now as we go through the Coronation weekend, obviously there must be a deterioration taking place, which you can see here on the 7th of May, for example. There the options on the 6th of May, but by the 7th of May, you can see that most of the options actually have the low pressure breaking through. So the Coronation really is on a knife edge here, because the day itself might hang on to dry weather, but by the following day, by the Sunday, 7th of May, and then the bank holiday Monday, it looks like we're under low pressure. If that low pressure comes in just a little bit sooner, then that ruins the Coronation as well. So it may well rain on their Majesty's parade, but we shall have to wait and see. Okay, finally the CFS Week 2. These are 500 millibar height knowledge breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 26th of April to the 2nd of May. The coming week has the ridge of high pressure down to our southwest, trying to build up from the north, but still some influence from low pressure to the west, to the north, and to the northeast as well. Week 2 is going to be the 3rd to the 9th of May with high pressure over the country. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic. That should be mostly dry and warm as we bring up wind from the south there. Week 3! It's going to be the 10th to the 16th of May. Low pressure stronger in the Atlantic. That's totally more unsettled, but it should still be relatively mild with winds coming up from the southwesterly direction. And then week 4 is going to be the 17th to 23rd of May. High pressure retreats further away to the east, low pressure out to west, so that again could be quite unsettled. But all the time it looks like wind direction going to be like southerly southwest. We just tie in with the JMH season tomorrow, by the way, for May. Hope I'm not letting any cats out of the bag for anybody who hasn't watched that video yet, but the JMA is suggesting quite a southerly May, possibly a bit volatile and wet though. That kind of ties in with that from a CFS, a warm wet month maybe for May. We shall see, time will tell. We're done. If you enjoyed the video, please do you like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. It's amazing, it's incredible. We thank you so much for doing that. And thanks so much. Right, just coming up tomorrow on the channel, we are going to have the 6 weekly weather forecast. We'll have the European outlook, detailed look at weather for the UK and for Europe for the next week, 10 days. And there will be a 10 to 14 down with all of the regular features coming up for you tomorrow as well. Please keep checking back to the channel for more. For this video, though, and for today's videos, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.